What is solution-focused leadership, team leadership? How can team leaders, managers who don't have any um, coaching experience, sorry, I'm hearing myself twice. I have a window open. There we go. Um, how can managers without any coaching experience borrow some of the coaching spirit, some of the coaching magic, and how can team coaches support them in doing so, and how can uh, everybody in a team step up to be a leader and enable the team to really work through problems into solutions to come out on the other side even more powerful, even more empowered, and even better. Stay tuned. Okay, so welcome to Erickson Live, to this fourth installment of our team coaching month. As you might have noticed from the top there, I'm a little bit under the weather, so forgive me for any momentary lapses in concentration. Um, as always, for the people that are already here with us, I'd love to know where you are joining us from. We have a very, very international panel today. Spread out over three different continents, and I'm sure that our audience can add one or the other continent to that equation as well. So, as always, please let us know where are you joining us from. And additionally, today, I'm really in the mood for some good news. So, what is some good news from your neck of the woods, from your part of the world? What is something that you might not read in a newspaper or see on TV, but that you want to share with our Ericsson community here in order to brighten everybody's day just a little bit? So, let us know where you're from and what's just this little spark of good news that you want to share with us. Okay, so today we have a panel discussion again, and I'd like to do the panel discussion like I did the panel discussion in February, meaning that I introduce the panel members one by one and give them the chance to introduce themselves, to tell us a little bit about, what their relationship to the topic is that we have at hand, um, and that and give them 5 minutes in the beginning so that you know what they're all about, you know how to take their comments, and then we'll really make it a panel discussion. We'll have them talk amongst each other and just dazzle us with their combined coaching knowledge, which is seriously quite impressive. Um, all right, so before we get started, let me just shout out a couple of the people that are already here. We have Maria saying hi, everyone, and it's super excited. We're super excited to have you, Maria. Tatiana is joining us from Sofia, and the aforementioned Maria is joining from Panama. Beautiful place. Hazem is joining us from Dubai. Um, Halka is joining from Prague or Praha. Oh, she has good weather there. Very nice sunshine. I know, Halka, you like to take walks in the woods, so that's very conducive to that. Müge is joining from Istanbul. One of our guests today is also from Turkey, so we already have forming a coalition there. Sepide is joining us again from Edmonton. Nice to see you again, Sepide. Roseanne from Vancouver, Nidhi from India, Antonella from Italy, and somebody from Izmir in Turkey. So thank you very much for sharing all that. Keep those good news coming. Besides the good weather, what is something that you have to share that might put a smile on our face? Okay, so after all that, let me get started and just go in alphabetical order. And let's start with Carmel Lee. Carmel Lee is an Erickson coach and facilitator, and she's also a behavioral diagnostician. She has Austro-Irish roots, is living in Vienna in Austria, has one son who is a French Austro-Irish 28-year-old. That's how she writes it. I heard a little bit of pride coming through there. Who's also a certified Erickson coach. Ooh, that's got to be fun at the dinner table. She has 10 years of leadership experience in international companies. She's a consultant with a focus on behavioral diagnostics. She's passionate about solution focused coaching and team coaching and has been so for 25 years. She's worked on all continents, so we'll Have to see if Antarctica is included there. And she's worked in 4 different languages and is Erickson facilitator for the high performance team coaching program. She writes that her main purpose in life is to support people in their personal development, um, and that doing that with the joy of life and mind shift in the post-war youth of the region. Carmel Lee, that is some amazing accolades. Welcome to the stream for the first time.
Thank you very much, Fabian. You have actually said a lot and introduced me so well. I haven't really got much more to say about me. But what I would like to say and at this point is what and how is my connection to solution-focused leadership, respectively team coaching. And especially during the last year in COVID times, of course, the subject of remote leading of teams has become a very important one. And lately, in the last couple of months, I have been occupying myself a lot with learning more about agile transformation in companies and about what this kind of agile leadership has to do with coaching. And I realized that agile leadership is only possible when teams are very much self-organized. And in times like these, where we do not meet at the coffee machine, where we cannot socialize with our team members, when between the doors or between the offices is not really possible anymore, to have self-organized teams gets more and more important. The second part of this is also how can I keep my people inspired and motivated in times like these? And I do believe that when we create situations where people know and notice that we trust in them, that they have the solution within themselves, and me as a leader or as somebody who it's a group of people or a team of people, we know how to promote and enhance the belief of our team members that they can do even if they are apart from us. I see a great connection there, and I also see how important and possible it is to do so via coaching our teams. I have had some experience now also on skilling leaders remotely in how to to coach their people in a remote way. That is also, I believe, a very interesting subject. But I want to leave something to my dearest colleagues, Zerrin and Rosa. And so I hand back to you, Fabian, at this point.
Yeah, thank you. I have lots of questions obviously coming off of that, but maybe we'll introduce everybody first and then I can ask that question more to the plenary and we can get a discussion going on that because I think there's some really juicy trains of thought that you already introduced here and that I'm curious to jump into more and more. Okay, thank you, Carmel Lee. So yes, so let's continue with Rosa. Rosa is a medical doctor, actually, so it's Dr. Rosa. She is an ICF professional certified coach, so PCC. She has co-developed the Erickson Health Coaching Program and also facilitates it. Also works as a health coach, and she used to be the head of the Department of Respiratory Medicine for 12 years and the university vice president for 4 years. I'll have to ask her in a second at which university that was at. And she has substantial experience with leading healthcare and university teams and with implementing coaching style management in these settings, and especially with the times that we live in, teams of healthcare providers are under a special strain. And so I think offering support to them, coaching to them is something just, yeah, especially timely and noble. And I know Rosa has been working on this for years and years and years, not just ever since all of this started. So Rosa, what else would you like us to know about you? And what is your connection and passion for team coaching?
Thank you. Thank you, Fabian, for introducing me. My connection is really connection about aligning with purpose regardless what times we are living in and how much turmoil is around us and around our teams and team members. And this is what I've learned throughout my years when I was responsible for team functioning throughout very different times, that it is really aligning with the mission, vision, values, and efforts, mutual efforts, that carries the team members through difficult times, challenging times. And this is highly, highly relevant to not only school settings. Schools have their challenges these days as well. However, healthcare settings, healthcare teams, they're really challenged by the purpose they are serving, and they're committed to serve 100%. And also a need to balance life and work and self-care under these circumstances and emerge from this turmoil post-pandemic strong and healthy mentally and physically. So this is something that I attempt to support team with. I'm still in touch with my team. My team is in Slovakia. I reside in Vancouver, Canada, and I still mentor people who used to be my students, who used to be my mentees years ago, and now they took over. They are the leaders, and we still communicate. And the good news for me today is that the numbers in Central Europe go down. And this really brought some sunshine to my and our lives, because obviously we are all connected. That's another, maybe the one big point that I want to mention here, is that at times of turmoil, it is the sense of we are all the same and in the same boat. We are all in this together, and we depend one on another, whether we are consciously aware of that or we are not. We are responsible one to another and for another. A metaphor that comes to mind is a orchestra. In an orchestra, every player plays his or her tune, their tune, and they know it well. They know the music, and the piece, the symphony, comes out well when everyone listens to everyone. And this awareness, this high awareness, how we are connected and interconnected, is really something that supports teams at all times. So thank you for listening. And with this, I will hand back to you, Fabian.
All right, thank you very much, Rosa. And Baha from Jordan also says hi to you, Rosa. So feeling the love from all over the place. Okay, so again, lots more to dive into what Rosa already mentioned here. Um, as my Google document is playing tricks on me and wants me to sign in again, I'll lead over to Zerrin. There we are. Thank you very much, Google. Here we are. So Zerrin is our third panel member for today, and she's also a medical doctor. She's an ICF Master Certified Coach. She's a senior facilitator for Erickson Coaching International. She's a transformational coach, an executive coach, and a team coach, and also owns Dengi Merkezi consultancy company, which operates out of Turkey. Besides her medical career, Dr. Zerrin has been interested in personal and organizational development for more than 25 years, and she's proud of being in the service of human development and advancement while working with herself as well. Her profound motivation comes from witnessing the positive change in people and in organizations towards achieving their bigger visions. Welcome, Zerrin. Hoş geldiniz.
Mhm.
Teşekkür ederim Fabian. Thank you. And it's when I was listening Carmel Lee, you and Rosa, I was just saying, okay, I just sit and listen. It's really wonderful. So it's great to be with you all and whomever is listening to us. Um, I would really like to say, based after Rosa's wonderful metaphors, my metaphor from a very, very long time, especially, is a cell, organic cell. Why this topic really made me very enthusiastic? Because for me, life is very organic, and a team, the more we realize the organic system working in a team, the more we behave truly as a team towards this high performing outcome. It's the outcome basically. Um, from my perspective, actually, as a person who is working with companies as a team coach, my motto has always been, what is in me can only be reflected outside. So, from the very beginning of my work with my company, and of course, meeting with Erickson, learning all the things that I learned, we started using team coaching internally. And everything we do, we sometimes one of us team coach, but sometimes one of the colleagues from outside team coaches us. So I truly believe how the impact could be in a team when we really put into the center of the team this perspective of looking from outside as a team coach, or the team coaching perspective, I would say. And also, what I have been witnessing for many years, especially if we look from the company perspective, how companies are getting a big impact when they dive into, at least from one team or many teams, working with the approaches as teams, and also personal, of course. And the main thing is the alignment, and is really being in the awareness of having this very rich jewels, I would call them, that everybody is bringing into the team. So this is my passion. My passion is really seeing the impact of sometimes a little drop of something, or sometimes something even bigger, but the results are always more than what we are expecting. And observing and seeing it is my way of life, I would say. So whatever I do, it's not a business at all. It is this organic life, and I'm part of this organic life, I would say. And I'm landing over to you, Fabian.
Thank you very much, Zerrin. All right, so with all the panel introduced, we have this wonderful forest picture here that for some reason is the only way that I can show you all of our four faces. Um, so, what might be your questions for this panel? Of course, we want to make this discussion as relevant and as apropos for you as possible. So the more questions you have, the more thankful we are to you, and the more you might hopefully take away from this discussion. Um, keep so my big question for you today is, I feel a little bit under the weather, so I'm asking for good news. So if you haven't put any good news yet into the chat, please, what is something good that happened to you today? What is something good that you learned about today? It can be very small, very personal. Maybe what is a victory that you've had today, or something that put a smile on your face. Let me share in your joy to make me feel better. Um, and as you're doing that, as you're playing the positive part, I'll play a little bit more of the provocateur. So, ladies, so that things don't become boring, I want to mismatch you a little bit as we're starting off here. I want to get you going and see how passionate you really are about this. Um, so I can imagine quite a few people thinking, okay, so you're talking about coaching, right? But is this really the right time to talk about coaching? Isn't this too serious to be talking about coaching? People are on furlough. People are not earning as much as they might be. Some people are losing their jobs. Times are really hard. People have to reinvent themselves. And isn't coaching more of a nice weather topic? Isn't that something we can talk about when we have no other problems? There. Consider yourself provoked. Who wants to start? Rosa, you have your hand up.
Well, you provoked me. Thank you, Fabian. Wow, what comes to mind is that what's going and what keeps us really being well, even though the times are challenging, is to see beyond. And coach approach with being able to step away from the moment that may be a moment of challenge, and to see that on a timeline, to see that unfolding beyond what's happening today is something that has multiple effects, major impact on people's mind and people's functioning. People start to imagine future beyond what's happening today and start to envision possibilities that may unfold in front of them ahead of time. And they may start to build those futures today, even though we are where we are, we stand where we stand in terms of the pandemic in each country, on each continent. So to me, it is now more than ever that coaching style leadership or direct coaching teams is of major support to teams.
All right. Thank you, Rosa. Would anybody like to add something?
Yes, I would. I tried to lift my hand, but I'm not sure what you can see or not. Well, I'll just continue. Well, I'm not going to contradict Rosa, but I did feel a little provoked by you, Fabian, when you said, what did you call it? Good weather?
Yeah, pretty much.
Something?
Yeah, nice weather
coaching
topic. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I would like to say on the contrary, because especially in times of challenges, especially when we are in danger of being under tension, being under pressure, feeling even really frightened, existentially frightened. Those are the times when coaching can support us to open up again and to make full use of our brain, of our system, to see, as Rosa said, beyond the problem or the crisis we're just in right now, and to be able to see that there are possibilities, alternative solutions, that we have potential to get out of this. I mean, we're talking about solution-focused leadership today. We're talking about solution-focused coaching. And this is one of the main principles, and why I'm so really passionate about this, is that every person has so much more potential than most of us believe in themselves. And if we, as a coach or as a leader who coaches their people, to make people realize the potential they have. This is the bit of joy, the sparkle, even in dark times you were talking about. And I would like to say something what really brought a smile on my face today. And that was that a lady I used to coach before COVID, and who had a new leadership role, and she wanted to be accompanied. And she now wrote an email to me today and said, Carmel Lee, in those remote times, I would love to have some coaching again, because I know that you show me, or you support me in seeing that I can do that as well. And I was really, really pleased, because my passion is, as I said, in my purpose, I love supporting people, and with the smile, with a smile on their face. Yeah. So that's my contradiction to you, what you said.
Okay. I'll take it. Thank you. Zerrin, what might be
Yeah,
your
maybe
answer to
I
that?
would add, actually, I would add on top of those, it is not only the potential we have, but it is also these times, this disruption is needed in some moments. Because if we are kind of happily living ever after, then there is no room for development, for advancement. Therefore, there is a need to really get disrupted. And then when we are disrupted, we have choices. We have the choice to stay as we are in the limited version, let me call it. And then we have the choices not only to open up new resources to ourselves, also to develop ourselves in such a way that we can deal with complexity. As human nature, we know that we are developing towards our new versions, which can deal with dilemma, paradoxes, and be able to sustain ourselves in a more chaotic environment. And we can tap into our more creative sides. I was reading neuroscientist book, which I yes. And for me, the great news is I was for a long time and I wanted to meet with him so much. I found his email address. I was about to write to him. And yesterday, it didn't happen today, but it's still great news for me. I learned that he's a brother of one of our participants.
Huh.
So, yeah. And actually, the only thing I asked, does he have something written in English? I'm sure he does. Book will be translated, I'm sure. But he mentioned something very important. These moments, we really need childish curiosity so that we are open to not something we know, but something we don't know, and we can cope with the unknown. And how our mind works that way is the crucial thing. And we all know that coaching helps us to go beyond our boundaries in the form of thinking, then which translates into our biology, our chemistry, and our biology. So this is the place, this is the time of the history that my motto is every house needs a coach.
Ah, okay. Very nice. Yeah, and if you'll allow me to add to what all of you were saying there, one of my favorite quotes is I probably don't go a day with nowadays without quoting it. It's from John Dewey, an American educational theorist, I think. We don't learn from experience; we learn from reflecting on experience. Right. So even though lots of people are going through really hard times right now, that or very interesting and very, very intense times right now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you grow from it or that you take all of it from it that you can possibly take and grow as much as you can grow and fulfill your potential. But if you are given the chance to reflect on it in a way that integrates what you're going through and helps you make sense of it, puts it in a bigger context, and allows you to put that in the service of a vision of a brighter future, then you will grow and you will get closer to your potential. So I think that's, for me personally, where coaching really, really provides an invaluable service. Okay, so
That's a good one, Fabian.
thank you.
Yeah, no, because it's true. Yeah, because if we look at around ourselves, I fear, and I don't know how much are people really going to learn from this crisis. And if you do not accept also to reflect what it means, then I fear one doesn't learn much. So I really like that
Yeah.
quote. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so let's take some questions from the chat. People have been writing. So first, some good news. So there has been snow in Turkey in the beginning of spring, which apparently people are ecstatic about, which is nice. We have a cat purring, which is one of the nicest sounds in the world, and actually has some vibrations that are actually healing to humans. So that's amazing. Um, What else? People's family getting vaccinated, so that's really nice. Some people are just happy to see you guys. So I'm seeing Zornica, so nice to see you. Zerrin, for example, we got a shout out to Rosa earlier. So yeah, lots of love in the chat, and lots of questions. So let me see, what do we have here? Um, um, so one question was, so I was starting off a little more skeptical, right? So what if um, a team is reluctant? How might you um, get started with coaching a team where you have the feeling, you come in and you sense people aren't quite on board with the coaching process? How might you, first of all, not even get into such a situation? So how might you kind of set up the relationship so that that doesn't happen? Or if it does happen, how might you build the relationship with that team to get started with the coaching properly?
I can say something if
Please.
I didn't see any signals from Rosa and Carmel Lee. So first of all, I translate the question as how to initiate team coaching with a team. So first of all, of course, the team has to know what team coaching is and the role of the coach and how we're going to working and what might be some outcomes that they're going to experience throughout the process. But before coming to that, if as team coaches we are invited to a company, then there needs to be some conversation or is asking us that we're going to go and team coach to that. Let's say the leader is asking, leader is inviting, then having a conversation with the leader and clarifying what is the need, what is the vision, and what they really want. But it's not only the leader or who is inviting, it's basically the team. So in a way, we as coaches have to make it very clear what we really want together, and the definition of clear definition of the team coach, and also a clear definition of how we're going to work together. But if it is for instance, I also coach my team as a team leader of my team sometimes, and it's still more or less the same. So clarity in the roles. So when I coach as a team coach, then I'm not really giving my ideas on things, but I listen and I coach. So making it everything clear is the key thing to initiate a good start. Yeah, that's maybe one key thing which I would like to share.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm also hearing that having a common goal, getting clarity on that common goal, and just getting everybody on board so that there is something in it for everybody. They don't feel railroaded.
Yeah.
I'm rephrasing here, but that's what I'm getting from what you're saying as well. Nice. All right. Yeah.
May I ask a question? You don't see when I raise my hand, it seems, huh?
Nope.
Sorry about that.
Sorry.
So I'm just talking. Rosa went along because I was first. I saw that you raised your hand as well, but maybe just one question, because actually I would like to ask Zerrin and Rosa also for their experience in times like these. I absolutely agree to that clarity. If we talk about leaders who are asking, how can I initiate coaching with my team? Then from my experience in the last year, before I was invited a lot to do team coaching with in companies, with teams. Now I noticed that there's more interest in the leaders, the team leaders, to get some skills, how they can coach in a remote way their people. So I found that there is a shift in that direction, and that's my personal opinion. Individual coaching online for me is no problem. I would have never did this 2 years ago, but I learned this year I can build rapport and that it works perfectly fine. For me personally, with team coaching online is a slightly there. For me, something is missing. What is missing? The chemistry when you are in a room with a team, then when you are online with several people is for me different. All the same, I noticed that when leaders receive some skills on how to coach, it is easier for them to deal with their team that way than possibly in another way they did before. So it might not be perfect, but it's a perfect moment and situation for leaders to learn how they can use coaching skills and to do this in a remote way. I don't know how your experience is there, Zerrin and Rosa or Fabian. We're all of us are are also team coaches, but that's anyway how I experienced it lately.
Okay, so Carmel Lee is observing a shift away from getting hiring an external team coach to come in and do the formal coaching process, more towards having leaders get those or some of those skills themselves and do it from inside the company and even inside the team. Um, and the question was, do you observe something similar? And I might complement that, if if nothing comes up immediately, but I would like to complement that, Rosa, and I'll maybe start with you. Um, what is the attraction, or what is the benefit to team leaders, to managers, to upskill themselves and to gain coaching skills? What's in it for them?
What's in it for leaders, for team leaders? It is as for anyone. It is really on many levels, on very many levels. It shows up in the end how they really lead the team on the level of doing. However, it all starts with higher awareness of who am I as a leader? What do I want to achieve for myself, for the team, for humanity, if you wish? However, at the same time, hand in hand, understanding that I am a part of the team as well, and opening up the team to these questions and considerations. What do we achieve as a team? So maybe if I loop this back to what Carmel Lee was mentioning and raise the question here, and you built on that, Fabian, what comes to mind is that from an observer perspective, the whole humanity is undergoing a transition, a big transition. And actually, we don't know exactly how things will unfold for us as individuals, teams, nations, for humanity. We are building that future at the same time. Zerrin has mentioned before, to me, those are key words, being with the unknown. So to me, even though we are observing this shift, I still consider that on a big time frame temporary. And I do genuinely and intuitively believe that teams are open to team coaching. And when leaders experience more and more what coaching is, leaders may be bringing team coaching and team coaches to their teams a couple of months from now or next year. So this whole area is just growing and unfolding. So it's great that team leaders want to learn coaching skills.
So I want to dig in a little, or not dig in a little bit, but I want to get a little more clarity on what mindset might leaders need if they are interested in learning coaching skills. Because with what I know about a coaching infused leadership style, it requires quite a bit of confidence in myself and in myself as a leader and in my leadership qualities, because it is about giving up quite a bit of power, right? And from what I've observed, not everybody has that confidence, and some people might feel very uncomfortable with saying, okay, team, what are our priorities, or how do you want to go about this, because they might see that as, well, what am I here for? I'm becoming superfluous if the team does everything themselves.
Well, can I
Yeah.
say something?
Yeah, Carmel Lee, go for it.
Okay. I agree. I don't know how many people are confident enough of not fearing the great potential of of their team members. But I noticed, first of all, when a leader is ready and open to be coached, him or herself, then usually that is a first step for that they really want to also start coaching their people. Coaching style leadership is not something we have invented and that is new. This is around in companies in Europe for the past 20 years. We used to call it situational leadership and whatever, this and that. But anyway, it's not new. What I noticed now, especially in the last year, but even before, people have so much to do, managers, leaders have so much to do that they cannot cope with the amount of work they have if they do not delegate, if they do not believe in their staff members, support them to take over some parts. And this often, even if the self-confidence is not at 100%, often leads to them wanting them to be more self-organized, more self-assured, and to be able to take over and do their work themselves, and not having them as leaders always have to control or have to support or have to tell them what to do. That's at least what I can see.
Can I just add a few things on top of this? There are a couple of studies by Gallup, especially in these COVID moments. And from the beginning of the COVID, remote work was around 25%. And now it is more than 75%, and the indication that it will even increase. One of the biggest companies in Turkey, almost a month or so ago, declared that they have 35,000 people working for them. They said, we will continue working remotely. And this is happening almost all over the world, even though we don't know what will happen in this COVID process, but there is a shift. And I was coaching in the beginning of the COVID a big company, one of the four auditing companies, one of the leaders. And when they moved home, working from remotely, they were very curious, and they were saying, "Are we going to get the performance? Are they going to really work?" Because they have very young people working for them, and now they're saying, why do we have really these big offices, these big buildings? Everybody is performing even more. But why leaders need more coaching approaches, there are more reasons. One is every one of us started to wear more hats in the same time. In this room, I am a facilitator or I am a presenter. In the next room, I am a cook. And in the other room, some people are taking care of their children, right? You're a father, Fabian, immediately.
Yep.
So as if we're changing roles. It wasn't like that. We go for office, the whole day we were the person in the business person role, in the shoes of that role. So this, in a way, fastness requires more flexibility in our mindsets. So you ask, what type of mindsets do we need? We need flexibility, we need openness, transparency, and authenticity. So what is needed? I'm not calling it as being bossy, but I'm calling it as being vulnerable. Leaders need to be more vulnerable. And this is also very much related with with the code. We can only be vulnerable if we have this perspective looking from outside. having this reflective perspective, which is basically the coach position. We call it the coach position so that we can reflect not only on ourselves, but on the team or on the other teams. That is one of the other reasons, or a couple of the other reasons. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Great points. And for me, one of the things that comes on top of it is, as managers, we never had control anyway over whether people are working or not, because we made them sit in a chair. That was the best substitute that we have, and that felt like we're making people work. But people find ways if they don't want to work, or if they're not inspired, they find ways not to work. And in my experience, people work a lot more from home. They work over a longer time. They want to prove trustworthy. They want to prove like valuable employees, and people work a lot harder at home, or at least it's harder on them sometimes. So it just requires more honest management, and I think that goes a lot towards Zerrin, what you're saying there about the vulnerability um, that you're mentioning, and just being honest with each other about what we're passionate about, what we're here for, how we want to spend our time, what we enjoy doing. Very very basic, but kind of very fundamental shift in mindset for a lot of companies, at least that I've or organizations that I've experienced. Yeah. Anyway, so Carmel Lee, I know that you definitely want to bring agile into the conversation. So as you know, the world is turning on a dime and is kind of throwing us one surprise after the other. What can agile offer also in the context of team coaching, organizational development that might help during these interesting, shall we say, times?
Mm. Well, I'm not a specialist. I'm not an agile specialist, but I have done some training, Scrum Master and Scribble and design thinking and all those wonderful new words. Anyway, what I really liked, I mean, a lot about it, but one of the things I noticed, and I would like to just quote something in connection. It says, when agile working is introduced in organizations, leadership also changes. Based on an agile mindset, the leadership principle is reversed, and the boss becomes the servant leader of his team. The team is the customer as the employer. Agile leadership distributes tasks and responsibility from individual to several agile leaders and teams that are as self-organized and managed as possible. That's the one thing. So the one thing is to sort of enhance your people, that they are able and willing and inspired and engaged to be self-organized. And the other thing is, and I especially like the design thinking process, how quickly with the right approach you can kind of create in a team, brainstorm in a team, a really new product idea, whatever, based that this is possible is a principle that we use in coaching, which is we as leaders or coaches, we give the frame that people can dig or come up with resources they didn't believe they had. I would like to give a little example. When I did that workshop, we were in the design thinking process. We were asked with the partner was the customer, to create a little money purse. And so the customer told us was important for him or to him, and then we in that given structure we created a money purse, and it was amazing. Within, I can't remember, but I think we might have had 20 minutes. Yeah, things that came up, and they were so full of life, so full of creativity, so full of joy in doing this. I really, really liked it. And I do believe that the more we can give a kind of a coaching mindset, bring this into organizations, the more agile transformation is possible. I know many companies that sort of like to be called agile because it's just modern and it means that people can really work more and more effective. But if the mindset is not there, this will not work. And this is why I really believe, and I'm fully passionate in bringing the coaching mindset, the solution-focused mindset into companies, into organizations, and pass this on to leaders. Yeah, that's just, yeah, it's the newest passion. I agree. I really find it very exciting what is going on there. Does that answer?
Yeah, no,
your question?
it answers it, but it also makes me want to know a lot more, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah, I
May I just add a few things
yes,
on
please,
top
Zerrin,
of
of
this?
course.
Yeah. We are using as a team agile approaches, and the most important thing is things become smaller, easy to chew. So, and then also it gives possibility for being able to cope with the unknown more easily. You don't need to finish everything up to the perfect, because I think it is maybe not only our generation but many generations, we are raised with this perfection bar on top. It has to be perfect, but it requires time, and you know this speed and change is not being able to allow us to really target for that. At the end, it becomes perfect. But then there is this, try and work and create something and then refine it and come to the result. So, and I also wanted to somehow emphasize, when we mean this coaching approach for the leaders, basically what we mean is truly deep listening. Instead of listening what they have as a vision in their mind's eye, or what they think that's right, truly tuning in to what people are saying. This is the very key thing. And then, of course, with open-ended questions, the results, the solution focused results are there.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Zerrin. Um, uh, yeah, I keep coming back to, the questions that I sometimes get in class, that are along the lines of, but if I ask open-ended questions, I might get whatever answer, I'm not in control of what comes back. It's like, yeah, no, that's exactly the point. And so that requires courage, and experimentation, and lots of love and kindness towards yourself and others. But it's quite the adventure. Um, Rosa, we haven't heard from you in a while, so I wanted to come back to the topic of, what just impresses me about what you bring to this panel is, among other things, your experience in that respiratory ward, right, during a respiratory disease, not this one, but a previous one. And so it's just no laughing matter. And I just would love for you to take us back to that time in your life a little bit, and let us in on what coaching kind of helped you realize, even if you learned about certain coaching things maybe afterwards, and just also um, what's special about, um, health teams, and what does that mean for health coaching?
Hmm. Great questions. Thank you, Fabian. You are pointing to the time about 10 years ago, 2010, when there was an outbreak of swine flu, and it was a pandemic as well. Uh, Humanity was much luckier then, because the vaccine was developed very fast compared to these times, because flu is a flu. It was here to develop the vaccine. For Europe, those times, months were really excruciating. They were hard, and they were hard for the community. They were hard for health professionals. So coming back to your question, Fabian, now when I look at that with my coach's hat that I have now, that I have developed meanwhile, and when I reflect on what really kept us going and kept us really operating as a team, was the mutual purpose that we have. And obviously the purpose is the same regardless pandemic or no pandemic. However, at times of turmoil, somehow the purpose becomes, if you wish, chunked down, like fine-tuned for the moment, meaning that now today we carry through 15 doctors, 30 nurses, meaning this has to be done. And this is how we care for patients, and this is how we care about another, and this is how we care about ourselves as individuals. And really keeping the team mentality. Looking back, the team mentality was even stronger at those times than in between. And I hear from my people there that it became as strong as it was before again and now in these times, because basically the team starts to operate, like the words or not, but the team starts to operate as if it was one mind, one will, one wish, one purpose, and one doing. And again, I will use a metaphor, which is from healthcare system, but regardless the epidemic, and that's a team, let's say a surgical team during a surgery operation. Everyone has its role, and everyone has to fulfill their role 100% with commitment, with devotion, with trust, and trusting everyone on the team that they do the same to achieve the outcome, the solution. So, and this applies to all teams beyond healthcare. So that's why I am so passionate about team coaching and team leadership and coaching skills for leaders, because I know from my experience and team experience how much that really supports team members and teams.
Yeah, thank you, Rosa. And I think that is testament to the power of a common vision, right? One of my pet peeves is these team building measures where we talk about, oh, well, let's be nice to each other, let's be one team, and that sort of thing, and like how can we like each other better and that sort of thing, and when usually what's missing is that common purpose and that really that single-minded vision of that something that everybody can agree on, everybody works towards, that usually works much better than any I don't know, axe throwing team building session, or I don't know, trust fall exercise or something. All right, so we are with
Maybe,
yeah.
Fabian, we're nearly at the end, I know, but it's very much connected to this. When we do module 1 with in our coaching training, then we teach the coach to when they create the contract with the client, to move up the logical levels, to the levels of values, of identities, of vision, of purpose. And I believe if we do that, and if also leaders do that with their team, and not stay down at the basic, how will we solve this or that, then this common strength and this energy that takes a whole team towards the same purpose or the same vision, this is what creates such a fantastic shift in teams, I believe.
Agreed. All right, so before we go, I would love to give each of you another another minute or so to talk about something that we might not have talked about yet, that might be important to you, that you want people to know. And if you want, that could also be about the high performance team coaching program that is starting soon, or that there are several programs. One is starting in April. And then Zerrin, I know that you're leading one in June. So maybe you want to tell us a couple of words about that, and how does that give people some of the tools that we talked about today?
Yeah. First of all, high performance team coaching aims coaches, and for when it aims coaches, it basically assists for the coaches to open that space, not only for one person, as in one-to-one coaching, but to a team. So the skills that we have through coaching could apply in a different way when we are working with the teams as a team coach. Not only some different other tools that would support for the team, as you say, to go and really get into the very juicy part of the vision, so that how can we all see the same common vision, but also how to keep the team together in the journey, and how as a coach working externally or internally within the team or the company can support with the tools and also practices in the perspective of staying in this coach position. But at the same time, we have differences in our programs. So when we aim leaders who want to use coaching skills to lead or to use for their teams, then it is again lots of similarities, but also with some differences. And then the aim is to be able to use the skills as a leader, not always as a coach, but as a leader, either in the coaching under the coaching head, or as a leader when leading, using these skills so that the team is really aligning, as Carmel Lee says in the recent situations, which is much more highly needed to assist people so that they can move into their best versions with enthusiasm and with motivation. Because what I'm hearing recently, many companies are asking how we can motivate our people, because people get tired of sitting in front of the computers all the time. We are social beings, and this is not for us in a way. So this is crucial. And also in our program, we will do it online, and we will also learn how to really work with teams online as a team coach as well. So this is the things that I would like to share very briefly.
If people, as I am now, intrigued and they want to know more, where can people find out more or get in touch with you?
Well, they can actually go to Erickson website, High Performing Team Coaching. There are lots of information about it. And if they want to get in touch with me, they can easily get in touch with me with my email address. And they can also go and get in touch with our partners in Europe, whichever country they are coming from, Erickson partners. So we're here.
Yeah, great. So Erickson.edu is the website. You find high performance team coaching pretty easily there. There's a couple of banners right now, and you can even choose whether you're coming into it as a coach wanting to expand your skill set from one-to-one coaching to team coaching, or whether you're coming in as a leader and you don't have any previous coaching experience. We actually have an entire cohort just for people like you on how to integrate team coaching skills into your leadership style, even if you've never coached before. Okay, great. Thank you, Zerrin. Rosa, what might be kind of something that you want to leave our audience with? What's something that's important to you that you want to give to people?
To me, most has been already said and expressed, and what I really like, I will reflect on Zerrin's and your words, is the word expansion. Expansion for coaches, it is expansion towards having a skill set to coach groups of people, teams, any teams. It doesn't have to be a corporate team. These skills apply to any team that has a mutual purpose or a vision. It may be sports team in a way. So expansion of skills for coaches, and expansion of communication skills and a leadership, coaching style leadership approach for those people who want to just add something new, skills to their profession that they already have. And that's very and highly valuable. And the world we are heading to, with all its unknowns, is open to these kind of expansions and new leadership. And I think that the potential for these new leaders of the new era, will be very high.
All right. Yeah, that's you're actually painting quite a beautiful picture about an open world. That's really nice right now. Thank you for that. And Carmelie, what about you? What is something you would like to leave people in the audience with? What's something you would like them to take away from today's discussion?
Yeah. First of all, I would like to say that if anybody is interested in high performance team coaching training and would like to do a kind of a little experience part and is German speaking, then Erickson Partner Austria is proposing a very short webinar on 23rd of April. It's like experiencing team coaching, and but it'll be in German, and it will be held by me and Miglena Doneva, who is the Erickson partner in Austria. That's the one thing. The other thing I would like to share with the audience is let's keep our spirits up. I know that we have times where it's sometimes not so easy, especially as Zerrin said, we're social. We like to be with other people. We like to hug the odd time. We're missing the oxytocin quite a lot. Exactly. So let's feel it and just keep. You said something very nice at the beginning, Fabian. You said, let's think of something that put a smile on our face. What I've really disciplined myself during this year is in the morning and in the evening to think of something I am thankful for, respectively, that has made me happy. And even if it was only, I mean, you met somebody somewhere on the street, we both have masks, and still you could see the person is smiling at me with smiling eyes. I am smiling at the person and they're reacting. I find this something very, very fruitful to keep up our spirits. And yeah, that's the last message I would like to give.
All right, very
Can I
nice.
just say one thing, Fabian?
Yeah,
I
sir.
forgot to actually mention we're also having a webinar in English on the 11th of May at 19 p.m. JET time, CET time. So the ones who want to learn more about high performance team coaching in English can join.
Okay.
Great. And if you find this stream on LinkedIn, all these ladies' profiles are linked there, so you can find them, you can message them to find out more. And again, erickson.edu will also, provide you with all the contact details you could possibly need. So yeah, or just comment. Wherever you're watching, just comment, I want more information, and we'll get in touch with you. We can also just make it really easy on you. I think that's fair. All right. So thank you very much to our very illustrious panel. The time has gone by much too quickly, as always. This has been really inspiring to me. I hope for the people watching as well. So feel free to put something that you're taking away from the stream, something that sparked a little bit of something that you want to take away as you are heading back to your jobs, your companies. As we're saying that, I actually want us to celebrate Zornica, who's also commenting that she's launching a leadership coaching program right now in her company, and she feels it's the right time more than ever. So yeah, we're among equally minded or like-minded people here. So congratulations on that. Congratulations everybody for investing a little bit of time in your edification around coaching with this stream. Let us know what you're taking away, as I said, and yeah, just much love from Nairobi, from Vancouver, from Vienna, and from Antalya. Is it Antalya?
Bodrum.
Bodrum. I get the nice beach towns mixed up sometimes. Sorry. So from Bodrum. Take care of yourself. Take care of your loved ones. And yeah, talk to you again soon. Keep changing the world one conversation at a time.